Welcome to the Worldwide Soccer Coaches Club video session plan for UEFA B. These sessions are designed to assist coaches who wish to enhance their understanding of UEFA B coaching. Today's video session plan is part of a series that will support you to design UEFA B sessions for the players in your team. This session is tailored to improve the effectiveness of our defensive unit's ability to counter the attack and launch attacks from deep. In the practice, this lead-in, you will need the defensive unit of the goalkeeper, the 2, the 3, the 5 and the 6, and the attacking unit should have their 7, 9 and 11. This area is required to have 20 by 40 yards and be split into 3 zones, 10, 20 and 10 by 20. Your coach's behaviour should support players understanding their roles and responsibilities regarding how to defend or occupy space to regain the ball and then quickly counter. The practice starts with one of the red defenders playing the ball into one of the attackers. The attacker then tacks 2 versus 2 and tries to score past the goalkeeper. The defender has to assess where the best place to engage the attackers are to limit their opportunities to pass around them. They should try to limit the ball carrier's options by getting across the line and down the line of the ball and any passes to the attacker's teammate. They should then try to get into 1v1s and utilise the touchline to narrow the space between them and the attacker so they can feint and jockey to win the ball via a toe poke, block or slide tackle. The GK should be communicating with the defender regarding where to show and if they can press. They also need to position themselves so they can deal with any passes to the second attacker, shots or ball into space behind the defender. When the defender wins the ball, they counter-attack to score in one of the 3 goals. Attackers can counter-press to win the ball back and attack again. You progress this practice into a 3v2 in favour of the attackers, 3v3, and finally 5 versus 3 in favour of the defenders. The goalkeeper is included in these numbers, where the defenders will develop their pressure, cover and balance and being aggressive to win the ball back so they can counter. They should always look to play a pass to the furthest safest player or travel the ball as quickly as possible towards the central goal. Ideally, but decisions should be based on their opponent's position on the pitch. We now go into the function practice and we extend the width of the pitch to the full width and then 50 yards from the goal in depth. Place 3 small goals, 2 wide and 1 centrally, and that's so the defenders can score into these. Place balls around the pitch so we can practice restarting from multiple positions. This is a 6v6 game and the attacking unit play 3-3 and the defensive unit have a 1-4-1 formation. The practice starts with the blue playing a square pass to the 8 and this triggers movements in their players to create space and passing lines. When the ball goes dead, the attackers can restart from any ball placed around the pitch. This is to provide the defensive unit with a lot of different scenarios to defend against. When the 4 and 8 play, the blue-red should try and dictate the direction of the attack, encouraging their opponents down one side. They do this by making square or riskier aerial passes more unattractive by cutting off any passing lines through or square. His defensive teammates support him by getting compact on the goal side and ball side of opponents and taking up accurate angles and distance of support to the presser. The distances created should be based on the personal attributes of the defender. If they are a quick fullback, they get close enough to win the ball but leave more space down the line to encourage 1v1 so they can possibly regain using their speed. If they are centre-backs, they may be great in the air and want the fullback to allow crosses because they believe they can dominate their opponent and win the ball and head it with great height and distance into areas where their teammates will win the second ball. You also want your players to be aggressive in the challenge and try to win the ball so it can help them transition into a counter-attack quicker. We now go into the phase and we redesign the practice by extending the pitch deeper 10 yards behind the halfway line. In this vibing line phase, the players and the defenders are arranged into a 1-4-2-2 formation, while the attackers are in a 3-3-3 setup. This is to make overloads in midfield areas for the defending team to provide them issues regarding defending space or opponents. Start position 1 is the number 10 passing the ball to 11 and then creating an attack from wide areas. Start position 2 is the blue 7 collecting the ball from behind the sideline and passing to the 8 so a more central attack can start. And start position 3 is the blue attacker 11, passing to the 3 who inverts and provides an overload. When the defenders win it, they have to score in the big goal and ideally score from hitting the post and then in. In this phase of play, we are now practicing the skills learned earlier and applying them in the larger phase. Attackers have to attack realistically with pace and accuracy to give our defenders the right challenges. The defenders need to assess how to press and show either outside or inside to where our teammates have greater numbers. Our pressing triggers will be under hit square passes, aerial passes, and trying to steal off the player's first touch, when the opponent is facing towards their own goal, and when the opponent is isolated. They should adopt accurate angles and distance of support so they can cover each other if they are beat by an opponent or passed around. They should also be proactive intercepting and tackling to win the ball and take it in a forwards direction. Lastly, they need to protect the goalkeeper when shots are made so they can pick up the second ball quicker than the opponents, and they should try and score as quickly as possible and penetrate centrally whenever possible. Shorter versions of these practices are available on our TikTok channel. Feel free to comment below with the sessions you'd like to see, and we'll aim to create them in the future.